Hi everybody, today we're going to be playing in the Year of the Dragon, which many people say is designer Stefan Feld's most harsh, unforgiving game ever. And we are actually going to put that now to the test. This is set in ancient China, and players are princes overseeing provinces, and each player starts with 2 palaces in their province, and each of these palaces is 2 stories tall, which means you can put 2 helpers in it, and all the helpers are up there. So I've got 2 stories, 2 palaces, 2 stories, Jen's got 2, which means at the beginning we can have up to 4 helpers, 2 in each palace. We also start with $6. And the first thing we do before the game actually begins is each of us chooses 2 helpers to put in our 2 palaces. Now, to make this decision, I'm going to pay attention to the fact that this year, in this Year of the Dragon, things are going to be very, very bad. The first 2 months are going to be nice, and that's always the case. You see, these are preset to be peaceful. But then in this year, randomly, 2 droughts came up back to back, and then some sickness, but fireworks are nice, but then taxes, and then more fireworks, yay, and then invasion, and then sickness, and then taxes, and then invasion again. So, knowing that this is what's going to happen, and I need to have strong military to help with the invasion, I need to have fireworks makers ready for the fireworks show, I need to have doctors for the sickness, but right up front, the most important thing is I need to have some farmers, because when this drought happens, I'm going to need food to feed my people. So I think one of the helpers I'm going to grab is one of these youngster farmers. I'll grab this guy. And then the other one I'm going to help, now I can't take another one, I have to take another one of the youngsters. I think, it could be any of them. I'm going to grab, I could grab the tax guy. It's nice getting money. Money is good to have in a pinch. Do I want to grab money or do I want to grab, I'll grab some money. I'll grab an accountant. Okay, so those are my start. And now you'll notice this 4 and this 3. That means I've got a total of 7 person points, which means I move my marker up to 7 on the turn order track. Currently, I'm first player, but if Jen has a number greater than 7 from her people, she will become the first player. Now, let's see, right off the bat, she's worried about the drought as well, so she is also going to grab a farmer, but she is going to grab, in addition to the farmer, I think she's going to grab a Buddha. Or not a Buddha, I'm sorry, a monk. Right, and so this farmer generates food, which you'll need for the drought. The monk doesn't do a darn thing other than at the end of the game, he scores points for every floor of the building he's in. So he's just going to take up space for the whole game. But he does something else that's very important. He's worth 6, so that puts Jen up to 10, which puts her at a very early lead for first player. I will have to actually, and she might hold on to that for a while, but we'll see how that goes. So we've started our workers, and now begins the first phase of the game, actions, where we each choose an action. But to do that, we have to put the action tiles out. So they just come out randomly. This guy, and this guy, and this guy are in one group, and this guy, and this guy are in another group, and this last one will randomly be in this group. All right, it's totally random. Okay. Now, there are 2 groups, and each Jen and I have this lovely little dragon that indicates what we're going to do. Jen is the first player, so she gets to take her dragon and put it in this group or this group. What that means is she will get to choose an action from that group, and she's going to come into this group. And why? Because she wants to do this action. This is the action called privileges, where she can get privileges from the emperor. And it's a very powerful first move. It's why she wanted to, it's why she's first player. Now, when you do the privilege action, you can choose to basically kind of pay tribute to the emperor, and he will give you a favor. You can pay 2 and get this 1 dragon tribute, or you can pay $6, and we start with $6. So Jen's paying everything she's got, all her dough or her won, to get a double privilege, which has 2 dragons. What this means is at the end of every turn, for the entire game, so over the course of 12 turns, she will get 2 points every turn. She just scored 24 points with this. Very nice opening move. All right, and now, back to me. So, if I wanted to, I could come over here as well. But since Jen's already here, to move my dragon into this group, I would have to pay $3. Alternatively, I could come over here into the empty group and pay nothing. And I'm gonna save my money. I'm gonna do this. And now it means in this group, I can get money, collect taxes from my people. I can have a military parade, or I can generate some food. I think I'm going to generate some food because, as you remember, we're going to need food in the near future. So what I do is I'm doing this action, which means I get 1 food for this one big thing here. Plus, since I have a farmer, It's really 2 food. Food for the tile and a single food for this farmer. If I had more farmers, I'd get more food. So I just grabbed 2 food to start preparing for the upcoming drought. All right, our actions are done. Now we move on to the person phase, where each player gets another helper. Okay, and you'll notice Jen and I, we both start with this group of cards. Here's Jen's, with purple backs, and those are mine. We're each going to use them to recruit 1 more helper and put them in our palaces. Jen's first player, so she gets to choose first. And now, let's see, she is a bit worried about the upcoming drought. So she could grab a farmer, and put him in here with this other farmer, and then boom, she's got enough to take care. She can get food next turn. Alternatively, she could grab this old wise farmer, of which there's only one. There's only one of every wise character. She could grab this old wise farmer who would generate 2 food instead of 1. But the downside to him is he's slow. So she would only move forward 1 on the turn order track, which would make it very easy for me to get ahead of her and have first dibs next turn, and therefore muscle her out of stuff. So she's got to decide, does she want the young spry guy who will only give 1 food, or the old guy who will give 2? I think she wants to hold on to first player, so she's going to choose the young guy. And she'll go ahead and put him in here, and so that means she moves forward 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That means it is now impossible for me to become first player, because the most I can move up, if I took this monk here, would be 6. I'd still be behind Jen. So she has solidified her first turn, her first player. And now, and to get that farmer, she had to give up her farmer card, which will be gone for the rest of the game. Here it is. So you just put the farmer card up here in the discard pile. That was her recruiting for farmers. Now me, I get to do another action as well. I think, let's see. Now I've got, do I want to grab the old? See, I'm already behind. What the heck? I'm just going to stay behind. I'm going to recruit a farmer as well because of all this upcoming, or do I want to? Do I want to, or do I not want to worry about it? Do I want to do something else? Maybe I want to get another tax guy. Because if I get enough money, I can make money to where I can buy my way into anything. I don't have to worry about stuff. Or alternately, I could get a builder, which is very, very important. You do need to start building to score more points. Should I grab a builder? Or I could grab a courtesan who does nothing other than just earn points. Having a courtesan and keeping her around for the rest of the game scores me a point every turn for the rest of the game. It would kind of mitigate this double points that Jen's going to get for the rest of the game. So I could recruit her. But I would like to get somebody higher up. So I could get a military guy, which would basically is just a way to earn points. And it helps with the fighting, but that's not going to happen for quite a while. Or a fireworks guy. I could grab a fireworks guy. Because fireworks are coming up. And that would put me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd still be behind her, but I'd be much closer. Or I could do a Buddha, but a Buddha is just going to waste space. I really should do somebody who would actually help me. Let's see. I am going to grab or I could grab, a completely different guy. The more different types of guys I have, the more chances I have of always having a good action to do, and I can't get muscled out of actions because I have more choices. But if I specialize, they become more valuable. I didn't mean to get so stuck up right at the very beginning, but I'm gonna prepare for the fireworks show, and so which means I'm gonna get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm almost gonna catch up with Jen, and I gave up my firework card for that. Okay, now the next step at the end of the first month, the event happens. The event of January is nothing, just a happy, lovely event. Nothing bad happened, and then finally at the end of a month we score. Players score. They earn points for his palaces and dragons on court ladies and privileges. Jen's got 2 dragons, and she's got 2 palaces, so that's a total of 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 points. I have 2 palaces. I score 2 points. All right, that was the end of the first turn. Now we move on to the second one, where the first thing we'll do is actions. Jen is still the first player, so she's going to get to choose an action first. But first, we must randomize the action and see what the actions will be. La 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 la. All right, random, 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 random. All right, let's call that random. Okay. Do 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 do. Da da do da do da do. And now that will be stuck in your head for the rest of the day. You're welcome. Okay, Jen's first, so she gets to place her dragon first. And now, so she wants to come over here because of the food, and I think she will because, bad luck for me, I would have liked to have gotten a privilege, but now coming over here, I would have to pay my way into that privilege. So she's coming over here, and she's going to do the food, which means she gets 1 2, 3. She just grabbed 3 food. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Which, versus the 2 I grabbed last time. And now, I've got the money, so I could pay 3 and come in here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to come over here. I'm not going to spend any money. And, let's see. I've got a fireworks guy, so I could start collecting fireworks for the big fireworks show. I could do a build. Now, I don't have a builder, but even still, I could do this action and build a single palace. I could do that. Let's see. But unfortunately, the food and the money, the 2 things I'm good at, are over here. So I can either do fireworks and get the benefits and start preparing for the fireworks show down the road, or I could build a palace. It would be nice to build a palace, but yeah, I could do that. Yeah, but yeah. I'm not going to. I am just going to grab some fireworks. I'm just going to start preparing for the fireworks ahead of time. So 1, 2, and I've got 2 fireworks. Okay. And meanwhile, what did Jen do? Oh yeah, she grabbed her food. Now we get to recruit another another helper, and Jen again gets to go first. So who is she going to recruit? Let's see. Now then, so she's got 2 farmers. Now she's still worried about losing first player, but I haven't fought her for it, so I think she's not going to fight too hard for it. She's going to go ahead and grab a build. She wants to start actually building additional palace spaces. She's going to put this guy, and that moves her forward 2, 1, 2. And that's giving me a window. If I pick a high-level guy, 1, 2, 3, 4. If I pick a 4 more, I can scream ahead. And I would like to do that. I would like to have first player next turn, because I would like to have control. So I think I will get this guy, a scholar who studies books. And 1, 2, 3, 4, I am now first player. Okay, so I had to get rid of my book card. Jen, who did she hire? She hired a builder. Right. And now, still, happy time, no bad events yet, but tomorrow, or next month, there will be Drought. Okay, and then scoring. I get 1, 2 points again, and Jen once again gets 1, 2, 3, 4. Ouch. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay. All righty. That's the end of that turn. And we move on to month number 3. First things first, we randomize the actions. I should think of another song to sing to you guys. Do 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 da 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 da. All right, that was kind of wrong, but somebody post if you can figure out what that song was. Let's see, and so we got money, privilege, and military, and let's see, and this one will be here as well, building, and we got scholars, and fireworks, and food. Okay, and I'm first. Now, what do I want to do? I could come over here, and I could get that food. So I could, I'd be covered for both droughts if I grab the food right now. Or I could also, get some points because I got a scholar, or I could get some more fireworks. And or I could come over here because I would like to get that privilege. It's been driving me nuts. The Jen just, and if I get this privilege now, there's still 10 turns. That's 10 points. I don't think I can turn it down. I am going to take that privilege. I'm going to spend my $6, and I'm going to get a super big privilege. And now I just scored 10 points as opposed to, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 20 points as opposed to the 24 she scored in the first turn. So, okay, and that means Jen's going to come over here, which she's happy about because she still gets the food. So she gets 1, 2, 3 food. 1, 2, 3. So she is well and truly prepared for the upcoming blight. Okay. And now it's hiring people time again, and I have to hire first. And I've run into a bit of a problem. You will notice, let's see, is this a problem? It is kind of a problem. Oh. Okay, well, we'll live with it. Here's the problem. Neither Jen nor I have any room to hire anybody else. What we should have been doing along the way, in addition to everything else, was building some more palaces. That's why Jen got this builder, so she could be able to build a palace. But then she got lucky and was able to get more food. I'm wondering, actually, she might rethink this. I think she will. Instead of, but actually do I want to build a palace instead of, yes, I think I will. Instead of having spent the $6 to get that privilege, I over here did a worker action. I don't have any additional workers, but I did a single worker action, which let me build another palace. And Jen couldn't, so she just grabbed her food. Right, so I didn't get the privilege. I built a third palace instead. And so now we get to hire people, and I have a third palace where I can place somebody, but Jen doesn't. So who am I going to hire to put in that palace? Let's see. Who can I still hire? I could hire a builder. I could still hire my farmer, but it's not like, well, yeah, what the heck, I'm going to hire my farmer. And yeah, it's very risky because there's only the old man farmer who I can hire, but he will generate me 2 food. But maybe I'll be able to get that food, maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. And that moves me forward 1, which means Jen is all but assured to be first player next turn. And now Jen, she's in a bit of a pickle. She's got no place to hire somebody. So she can hire somebody, but she'll have to get rid of somebody. She doesn't mind though, because she's got so much food now, she's going to permanently retire that farmer, which means she's now got a space to hire somebody. And who's she going to hire? There's no more farmers to hire, but that's okay. She wants to... She already has a builder. Does she want to start preparing for this medicine need? I think so. She will hire a doctor. Oh, but you know what? She'll hire the old doctor, who, even though it only gives her 1, still puts her in first place, on the turn order track. And so she's got a doctor who will help in the upcoming outbreak season. Okay, and we've hired our people. We've both put our cards up there to indicate we've hired. Oh, wait, no. I hired a farmer, and she hired a doctor. Doctor. There he is. So she can never hire a doctor again. Well, she can. We each start with 2 wild cards as well, which we can use to hire anybody. But you want to hold on to those to give you more flexibility. And so we've done the hiring phase and now the points phase. Once again, I get 2 points, and Jen gets 1, 2, 3, 4. And she continues to scream in the head because of this darn who's he, what's it. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I get 3 points because I've got 3 palaces compared to her 2. So, it's kind of evened it out a little bit. And now, oh, wait, I'm sorry. Jumped the gun. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not yet. We are in turn number 3, aren't we? So, it is in fact time to have our drought. Okay, and we got to feed our people. Now, the way drought works is for every palace you've got, you have to give up a food. And if you can't, you lose a person for every palace you couldn't supply. I am going to supply this palace and this palace, which means I didn't supply this palace, which means I lose somebody, and I'm going to lose this old farmer and just say goodbye to him. And now I've still got my 3 palaces. I paid all my food. I met that, but there's going to be another one tomorrow, so I've got to make sure I have food for that as well. All right, and now Jen, meanwhile, she's fine. She's got she's got excess food, so she'll just pay her 2, and her 2 palaces are set. And then we score points. I score 3, 1, 2, 3. She scores 1, 2, 3, 4. End of the year. Okay. Time for Time for month number 4. Let's see. And we randomize again. So 4. And put that over, just make 4 over here. Fireworks, and taxes, and building, and privilege versus food, military, and book learning. Okay, and now Jen is first. She gets to choose first. She doesn't need to worry about food anymore. She doesn't have to come over here. And military, so she's going to come over here. Okay, which is a shame. I would have liked to have bought that privilege. Yet again, I haven't bought the privilege. But on the same token, Jen has left it open so I can get the food I need to take care of myself this turn. Phew. Okay, so, which means I'm going to go there. Now, Jen is going to, although again, if I want, I have $6. I could pay $3 and come in here myself. But I'm wanting to get a gosh darn, well, anyway, we'll see. Let's do Jen first. Now, she can do fireworks, which she gets a single one. I think she's going to do building because she wants to start expanding her palaces as well. So she's going to do the building action, and she gets 2, unlike the one I did last time, because she has a builder. Plus that means, now she has a choice. She can either make 2 one-story palaces, well, that's a very, very dangerous thing to do. In fact, actually, she shouldn't do that. Or she can make a 2-story palace. Or she can extend an existing palace and make them taller so there's more space for more people in an existing palace. Those are her options. Now, of course, she wants a new palace, so she'll be scoring more points every turn. probably go with this. She could go this way, but the danger with this is, at the end of a month, if you have an empty palace, it decays. So if there was nobody in this palace at the end of the month, it would lose one of its floors. If there's nobody in this palace at the end of the month, it disappears completely. And the problem is, Jen's only going to hire one worker, so she can't hire 2 workers to get them both filled. So she's just going to make a 3rd palace and make it a nice, steady 2-story palace. Although she could have made these bigger to have more room in her single palaces. But anyway, so she's done a build. Quite nice for her. Meanwhile, now back over to me. If I want to pay $3, I could build some more, or I could tax my people, or I could get that privilege finally so I could start earning. But, let's see. Oh, this is Jen's food. But I'm going to come over here and do some farming and get 1, 2, 3, because I got the old guy. 1, 2, 3 food, which, by the way, will cover me for next year's drought. So I'm set. And meanwhile, Jen, of course, is set as well. 1, 2, 3. And she has actually food left over. Okay, so that's who I hired. I hired another farmer. Now, I'd already used my farmer card. So I have no choice. I have to get rid of one of my wild cards now, which is not so great. I only have 1 more. But you know what? I needed that farmer, or else... Well, actually, if I didn't, let's just say I didn't. Say I didn't hire that farmer. Or wait, no. What am I talking about? I've got the food. Right, I'm sorry. I've gotten myself confused. I don't know what I was talking about. All right, so anyway, I've got my food. Oh, right. Oh, yeah, what am I talking about? I don't have to hire for another farmer. I'm not hiring another farmer. I've gotten totally mixed up. Forget the last 3 minutes. I'm sorry, people. It's getting later in the day. I'm a little bit punch drunk. 1 too many hits from the snake. What's that a quote from? Okay. Alrighty. So we are hiring our people. Jen is first. She will hire somebody first to put into her 3rd palace. Right. Get your head straight, buddy. Let's see. Now she's got a doctor to help her out with the coming thing. She probably wants to get in on the fireworks action too, because fireworks aren't too far off. She's going to grab this old experienced fireworks guy, which will move her forward 1, 2, 3. Now, and that means she's hired a fireworks guy, so she gives up her fireworks card. Oy. Now, who am I going to hire? Not a farmer. What was I thinking before? But can we just forget I ever had that brain fart? Okay, who would I like to hire? See, Jen's has gotten a fireworks. I've already got 2 fireworks. I see. So we're in a race for fireworks now. Do I want to get a doctor because of that pestilence that's coming up? If I don't, the thing is, when contagion happens, you can see it right there, lose 3 people, 1 less for every healer. So in 2 months, we're going to lose 3 people. Now, some people, in 2 months, I'm not going to care about losing this farmer. And so maybe I could work it out so that I'll hire some people who I don't care about losing. Jen is only going to lose 1 person because she has this medic who's going to protect her from losing 2 people because she hired him. Should I hire a doctor to save? Yeah, I think I will. I will just go ahead and hire a doctor to get a doctor who goes in this space that was recently vacated by that farmer. And that moves me up 1, 2, 3, 4. And I will be first player next turn. Okay, now we do score 3 points for me, 5 points for Jen. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And she's still screaming ahead. But now I am first player. So let's see. Let's randomize for month 4. Her name was Tulu. She never was a girl who could be true. All right, that'll do. All right, and put you over here. All righty, fireworks, money, food, which nobody cares about, and military, versus book learning, tribute, and building. And I am first. Is it time for me to finally get my tribute? Yes, it is. I'm paying $6, and I'm going to start earning 2 points every turn like Jen did. Because I don't worry about food. I'm covered in my food. Which means Jen's like, she would have liked to have built some more. But no luck, so she's going to come over here. And remember, she just hired that fireworks guy? I think. Yep, yeah. She is going to get 1, 2, 3 fireworks, which gives her 1 more than I do. Which means she's currently in the lead on fireworks. And when the fireworks comes up, whoever has the most fireworks scores 6 points, and whoever has the second most fireworks, I think only scores, is it 2? No, 3 points. So basically, whoever has the most fireworks in a few months gets 3 points ahead. All right, and so that was that. Now, we once again hire people. Is that right? Yes, we hire a person. And I'm out of space again, but I'm going to let this guy go because I don't care. I don't need food anymore because there's not going to be any more food needs for the rest of the year. And who am I going to hire? Doctor, right, okay, but this is happening now. Right, but so I want to get another doctor for next year so that currently I'm going to lose 2 people. And when's the next sickness is way in the future. So that's kind of, ideally you want them close to you, so I'd keep the doctor. But if I get the doctor for this, and then, I will go he'll just be wasting space for a long time until I need him again. I think I'm not going to get a doctor. I think I'm going to want to try and maintain my foothold in the race of the game. So I'm going to hire. Do I want to get a military guy? It's way too early for military. Or I could let go. I could hire a courtesan and start earning points. Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to hire a courtesan, which means I take her and I put her in this new place all by herself. And Jen is going to hire. She doesn't have to get rid of somebody. Who's she going to hire? She's going to hire another doc to protect herself completely and not have to give up anyone, or no, because she's got that farm she doesn't care about giving up. She needs to get somebody new. And let's see. And by the way, I moved forward 1, so if she gets anybody other than a courtesan, she'll take first player again. I think she will. She want another Buddha? Nah. She's going to get a builder, which she's already hired one, so she's going to have to use her wild card for it. All right, and so her building is going to start taking off because now we've met our food needs. We don't have to be, it's now is the time to start actually building more and more because we don't have the building feeding needs because the droughts are done and we're moving on into the future. Right, and so then we've each hired a person. The event happens. It's drought time, but fortunately we were both good planners. So we have enough food. In fact, Jen has excess food, which will translate to bonus points at the end of the game for her excess food. And now it's the end of the year. I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Jen gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, but I forgot. I've also got a courtesan, so I get 6 points. I am now starting to catch back up. And I think I'll stop there. Because obviously we're about to go into Sicknessville. I'm going to lose 2 people. Jen's going to lose 1 person. I'm not quite sure who I'm going to lose, but if you'd like to find out, please continue to watch in our extended playthrough, where we'll play through a few more months, have some nice fireworks, maybe pay some taxes. Who knows what's going to happen? It's crazy here in the Year of the Dragon. So I'll give you guys 5, 4, 3, 2. This is to push the buttons, by the way, that are on screen. 1. Okay, guys, talk to you later. Bye-bye.